this, and actually intend to store beer bottles and wine bottles instead. I have been your guinea pig. If you play around with the shelves, it will fit 6 wine bottles comfortably in the bottom half, leaving enough room for air circulation. The top half then has room for about 14 beer bottles, standing up, and 5 at the very top on their side. This involves removing one of the shelves completely and turning another one upside down. In this configuration it keeps them nice and cold, unlike a lot of other units. Review number 2. I bought the refurb one for $196, shipped. From the reviews I am seeing all mini fridges, they are pretty much all hit and miss unless you go commercial. I figured at $200 it was disposable if it just lasted a couple years. Mine wasn't actually refurbed per se, but was a scratch and dent model. It came with an inspection that said it was verified to work. It has a good dent in the stainless metal frame around the front window. I expected something like this, as it stated somewhere in the ad to expect this on the refurbs. I didn't take off 1 star because of that. Actually, I may look at taking the door frame off and see if I can roll out the dent to make it more presentable, but this is just for a game room, so no worries either way. I don't have a thermometer to put in the fridge yet to check the exact temp, but I will update the review when I do. If you turn it on max cold, drinks seem comparably cold to my full fridge, maybe a tad cooler. What I am taking a star off for is the noise and power draw. I have this in a game room on one side of my house, and from my bedroom across the other side of the house, same floor, I could hear this thing running the first night and had to shut the door to the room. I think I have gotten used to the noise now while sleeping, but also to note I have a computer in the same room as the fridge that I purpose-built to be quiet with PWM fans, and when the fridge runs, which is about 50% of the time, it's just loud enough to be louder than the computer fans at idle. If the fans ramp up a bit, the noise is about the same as the computer. One other thing, all the outlets in my game room are apparently all on the same breaker, and when this thing kicks on, you can hear a loud click/pop through my receiver/speakers. They are not on the same plugs or a power strip or anything, in fact they are across the room from each other. I'm sure can figure a way to remedy given time. Update 1. I was initially worried how cold beverages would get and how much it would have to run to get them there. I would say it gets them cold enough for me at setting 6 of 7. At setting 7, drinks have that near freezing bite to them. That's definitely nice, but knocking it down a setting is sufficient for me, and will reduce wear and tear and electricity. I only do bottles, and I was able to fit 2 racks in the middle, plus the rack at the bottom that is immovable. Long necks fit perfect in the middle, 6x5, pint cans and shorties at the top, 6x5 if all bottles. I do bottle water in the bottom rack, 6x3. Since water bottles are a bit squished in there at 6x3, you probably wouldn't have much luck fitting glass bottles in the space with this config. Also, as I said before, it's loud. It's not so much the dB of the sound as it is the pitch which seems to carry. I can still easily hear it at night on the other end of the house. Review number 3. Just got my cooler a week ago and I'm very happy with it. I suggest reading the other reviews as they helped guide me to selecting this product and were very helpful in describing some of the finer features that I was looking for. Now that I've unpacked and used the unit for a week or so, I thought it might be helpful to share some things that weren't obvious from the product description or other reviews. 1. the inside top of the unit slopes slightly from front to back, making it a bit less tall toward the back. I'd guess you lose a ½ inch or maybe a bit more in height. Not a lot, but enough that it might make you move your top rack down a notch. Also, on the right hand side of the roof, there is a small something sticking down in the back that takes another ½ inch or so. 2. The door can swing fully open, there is no stop for it. The first couple of times I opened it, I didn't hang on to it and it swung clear around and hit something sitting to the right of the unit. Again, not a big deal, just keep in mind. 3. As I read one other place, there is a small drip pan in the back of the unit that is not mentioned anywhere in the product description. I haven't had the unit long enough to know whether it fills up, but have set myself a monthly reminder to check it. 4. You lose roughly half your space in the bottom 1/4 of the unit. This is the intrusion from the back where all the stuff is. There is a half-depth shelf right around there that butts up against the top of the intrusion, so you can still use the full depth at that point if it's at the right height. That was a nice feature. Below that level though, you lose half your depth. This really didn't impact me as I'm using that lower cavity for small, 100-calorie pop cans, mixers and the like. 5. While apparent from the pictures, I didn't register with me that there is no digital temperature display with this unit, just a 1 to 10 wheel for cooling selection. As I am using this as a beer fridge and want a particular temperature, I'm going to buy a small thermometer to put inside the unit as an aid in selecting the proper temperature. 6. Minor note, the interior light does have an on/off switch. 7. Lastly, it could just be me but I couldn't get the unit to be perfectly level from front to back. Side to side was fine, but the front of my unit shows it is a bit high even with both front legs screwed in all the way. This could be by design, but as one of those anal types, it was frustrating to not be able to get it perfectly level, lol. Overall, for the price, exactly what I was looking for. Review number 4. After a couple of weeks of researching different beverage fridges, I decided to take the plunge and purchase this one. I'm pretty happy I did. We bought this for the basement man cave room. This helped free up space in my food fridge and make drinks accessible for guests when they come to watch football. The temperature is perfect and cold. The only way I like my beverages. The appearance is pretty cool too. The light displays the beer collection nicely. We have had this fridge for 2 months and so far so good. Nice appearance. Quiet. Cold temperature. Great size. Adjustable shelves. Decent price. Review number 5. Died shortly after 1 year. Never really cooled that well. Not a fan, but looks like all mini fridges are getting bad reviews. Can't find one that actually has 4+ stars.